You know, when I saw this, I thought it was an April Fool's joke. I did. The headline is Ford is bringing back the stick shift to electric vehicles. Doesn't that sound like, Andrew, something like that would be kind of like, what is this?
How does that work?
Okay, because there aren't any real gears.
Right, there's nothing to shift.
They say that Ford wants to make EVs feel more fun to drive. And so you're going to have a stick shift with your EV that makes different sounds. That's maybe like an engine.
But it does nothing?
It can't do anything. I can't.
Why not put an anchor on it as well?
Are you ready?
Listen to Kim drive.
Yes, I know.
That is way more fun than any other car I've heard.
You know, 18% of all Americans know how to drive a manual shift. That's it, just 18%.
Oh, I'm in the percent that don't.
Really?
No, never learned.
You never learned?
No.
You can't catch a break. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Kim Komando Show. It's the nation's largest, best, awesomest show about all things digital. Because after all, I am Kim Komando, your beloved digital goddess. And joining me is my cohort, Andrew Babinski. Yes, hello there, Andrew. And you can find us on over 420 top stations from coast to coast. We're streaming everywhere in your favorite radio app. And you can also find us streaming in your favorite podcast player. If you're more of a visual type person, hey, check us out over at youtube.com/Kim Komando. And I know that you have some type of question about something digital in your life, and that's why the Komando hotline's open right now at 1-888-825-5254. And if you want, you can always make an appointment to speak with us here on the show. Just head over to komando.com. And up at the top, there's a link that says Ask Kim. I read every single note there that you send me. You know, in this constantly changing world, nothing's more important than protecting your home and loved ones from harm. And for millions of Americans, that reassurance starts every day by arming their Simply Safe home security system. Whether heading out in the morning or locking up at night, that simple press of a button can do more than just protect your home and family. It gives you, really does, greater peace of mind. And Simply Safe is setting the new standard in home security, delivering peace of mind every day to millions of Americans. And here's the deal you can't afford to miss. For a limited time, you get 50% off a new Simply Safe system with professional monitoring. And these plans start at around $1 a day, no contracts, no hidden fees, and a 60-day money-back guarantee to prove that Simply Safe is right for you. You have to hurry, though. This offer is not going to last long. You want to go to simplysafekim.com. Once again, simplysafekim.com. You know, every single day of my life, every single day, I scour at least 35, 40 different sites to make sure that I know exactly what's happening in the tech world so I can pass it along to you to make sure you're always tech ahead. And here are 5 things you need to know about right now. And let me ask you this question. When you're vacuuming and you get a phone call, what do you usually do? Well, you turn off the vacuum and you answer the phone. That is so 1999. Okay, not anymore. Samsung has a new range of appliances that they're calling the Bespoke AI that lets you call and text people from them. So like, for example, the AI Jet Ultra is a cordless vacuum with a screen. When you're cleaning, you see text messages, the calls pop up, you can send quick replies, you can answer calls right from the vacuum. The washer and dryer does the same thing. This is amazing technology. A 7-inch screen built in, so while your clothes are spinning, you can call somebody back. What's the matter, Andrew?
What are the odds that I'm going to get a phone call or someone's going to come to my door for the 4.5 minutes that I'm vacuuming per day or the 30 seconds it takes to switch a load of laundry?
You know, I was asking the same question. And I thought to myself, I'm the digital goddess.
Right.
I need to find out. So, here at the whole Komando Radio Ranch, the house, we installed the washer and dryer.
You went and got it?
And the vacuum.
You went and got both of these.
And Ian couldn't even believe what it looks like. So, he actually recorded it for his social media.
Okay.
Just the audio. Take a listen. Honey, the phone's for you.
Okay, I'll get it on the washing machine.
Oh, you know what? I stand corrected. Listen to how convenient that was.
It's so dumb.
Well, the truth of the matter is, it is dumb. But the only reason they want to do this is because you got to download their app to use it. And once you do, you have to agree to all the terms, which allow them, to look at your contacts, your text messages, ownership
Suck
of your
up all the
firstborn
data.
child.
Yes. Yes.
It's just about getting the data because that's where the money is.
Exactly. I'll get it on the washing machine.
That was a very good performance by Barry.
Thank you. And, he wanted to practice that. I'm like, you don't need to practice.
It's a 10-second bit.
I know, exactly. All right. Next up, let's talk about some tech updates. Alexa Plus is here. The new $20 a month Alexa for your favorite Amazon device. Let's see. Right now, you can order an Uber. You can get cooking tips, summarize uploaded docs, but the stuff like the kids storytelling, recognizing people, or chore reminders, they say that's coming soon. $20 a month. But here's the deal: you get the smarter AI Alexa for free if you already pay for Prime. And Prime is $140 a year. Alexa's $240. You see the math. Let's move on to YouTube. That just became the most watched TV service in the United States. Do you watch a lot of YouTube?
Oh, yeah, tons.
Yeah. More than Netflix and Disney. I grabbed 11.6% of all TV viewing. Surprise, viewing of 65 and up has doubled in the last 2 years alone. So older folks have just, figured out what's going on over at YouTube.
It's interesting you say that because the last 2 times I was at my girlfriend's house, her dad was there and another older gentleman were there. They both sat down. First app they went to was YouTube.
Is that right?
Not YouTube TV, went to YouTube.
Wow. And finally I saw this for Bang & Olufsen. And I think they sat down in their marketing department. And, that's that big audio brand. Very expensive. I think they sat down in their marketing department and they said, what if we sold a $58,000 speaker for $94,000?
Wait, whoa. A $58,000 speaker, but we're going to up it to $90,000.
$94,000.
Oh, sorry.
But we're not going to change anything but the color. So now for the extra $36,000, you get Ferrari red paint, black trim, and the Ferrari logo.
Are they selling these?
Yes.
I mean, legitimately, people are buying them?
Yes. I think it's a midlife crisis purchase.
It has to be. A $54,000 speaker is a midlife crisis purchase.
A $94,000 speaker. Okay. It has Bluetooth.
Oh, Linda, you know what? It's worth it then. I didn't know that.
Moving on to number 3, OpenAI, makers of ChatGPT, of course, just pulled in $40 billion in funding. I couldn't even imagine how much money that is.
I think it's $40 billion.
Yeah, it's valued at $300 billion now.
Now, do they have to get all this funding because they don't make any money?
Yeah, right.
I mean, nobody pays them. They don't charge for ads. There's no revenue.
I pay $20 a month.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, that's got to, somewhere in that billion is me. Just say it. Moving on to number 4. Did you ever do buy now, pay later?
No, never.
Me neither. I was sure if you can't pay for it now, you're not going to be able to pay for it later.
I think I was 19 years old when I went to like a rent-a-center to try and get a big TV. And then it's just like, well, this is a $400 TV. And by the time you're done renting it, it'll be $3.2 million. And I walked right out.
See, you're smart. Here's what's happening. These buy now, pay later providers are now going to start reporting it as loans. That's right. So it's going to appear as loans on your credit report. And you can buy anything for buy now, pay later.
Yeah. Did you see the viral meme where someone bought a meal from Taco Bell and they had it broken up into 4 monthly payments and they were paying interest on their Nachos Bel Grande?
There's also one that I saw. A woman got a Brazilian butt lift.
Well, that's an expensive purchase.
Okay. Yeah, but 2 cheeks. Okay.
Hopefully they don't come and repossess it.
We need that back.
Sorry, you haven't paid your bill. Give me that butt back.
Finally, this OnlyFans. I'm not going to ask you if you go there. Do you?
No, I've never been.
Never?
No.
No? Okay. I'm surprised.
Well, I don't pay for that kind of stuff because
it's
available for free.
Well, the media is full of stories that all these women, they pose nude and they engage in sexual activities with their subscribers that they make a lot of money. So the ones that are making money are the ones like Denise Richards.
Okay.
I mean, they used to be celebrities and now they're really not anymore.
But is she doing that kind of stuff, to X-rated stuff?
I think she is.
Oh, wow.
I haven't really checked her out.
Neither have I.
The top 1% make less than $50,000 a year.
The top 1% of OnlyFans users?
The average OnlyFans creator makes around $1,300 a year.
There's all this hype behind it that you can go get all naked and become a millionaire.
Exactly. Now, meanwhile, two guys are suing OnlyFans because I want you to brace yourself.
Okay.
They say that they're not really chatting with the models that they subscribe to.
No?
No.
I'm really not talking to Denise Richards?
No, it's probably Chad in a WeWork.
Chad.
Or an
Dennis.
Yes. Or an AI bot.
Dennis and Richard. That's who you're talking to.
So if you're on OnlyFans or thinking about going on OnlyFans because you're going to make a lot of money, you're not. And if you are paying for somebody to talk to you on OnlyFans, you could just call us.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to wait. Are we going to talk dirty? I don't know if we can.
Oh, we could try.
All right. Here, go ahead. You do it.
Is your backyard dirty? Do you need to go pick up dog poop?
That's not exactly what I think they were hoping for.
All right, well, then I failed.
Over 41,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all into one fluid platform. NetSuite has added a range of new AI features to its product, and these updates are designed to help companies operate more efficiently. So, like, for example, the software can now automatically detect unusual activity in a company's financial data, allowing issues to be addressed quickly before they just become bigger problems. And it helps give you the visibility and control you need to make super quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're just peering into the future with actionable data. When you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backward and more time on what's next. NetSuite helps you respond to immediate challenges and seize your biggest opportunities. Now, here's the deal. You can download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning for free right now by heading over to netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim. All right, coming up, something that you should never post online. And let's see, we're going to talk about how you can rent out your gear for cash. We have just the best callers ever, and you got me, and you got Andrew, so stay right where you are. Make sure that you enter to win a brand new iPhone 16 Pro. We're going to be giving it away super quick over at winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. So I don't think I told you about this story, Andrew. I don't think I told you about Jeff.
No, you didn't tell me at all.
It's a really fascinating story about a guy who went for a drive and the information that he found out along the way about how he was being tracked. Hi, Jeff.
Hey there, Kim. Thanks for inviting me on.
So tell us what happened.
Well, first I'm answering from my Ferrari vacuum cleaner. So
okay. Good.
Let me know.
That thing is so quiet.
It's great, isn't it? I bought it now, and I'm going to pay for it later.
Perfect.
So the surveillance cameras that I wrote about, they're not the cameras that ticket you for running a red light. They are specifically these flock safety cameras that are just placed in a public space and take 24/7 footage of all the vehicles that pass. So I'm the executive editor of Cardinal News. It's an independent, nonprofit, nonpartisan newsroom that covers South Side and Southwest Virginia. And we're always looking for kind of big stories that start in something that has local human impact. So as we were doing some research about surveillance tech, I drive around Southwest and Southside Virginia a lot to visit my reporters because they're all remote and they're all in the towns they cover. And so I thought, well, let me just take a 300-mile trip around Cardinal Country and see how many times I get pinged on one of these cameras. So that was kind of the origin, is thinking of just what any citizen who is reading our series about state of surveillance would think first. Am I being caught on camera, and how many times am I being caught on camera, and what can people find out about me by being caught on camera?
And the flock cameras is not just where you're located. They're all over. I mean,
Yeah, so this is a company out of Atlanta, Georgia, and they really I think they started by marketing themselves to neighborhoods to kind of create virtual gated communities where private groups like HOAs would say, yeah, we'll all do this together, and we can keep track of who comes in and out of our neighborhood. And then they realized there was money in going to small police departments and county sheriff's offices, whereas surveillance tech had largely been targeted, say, in the last 10 years, 15 years, to cities, to big cities. This was a very different approach that came from thinking about first the private sector and then realizing, well, there's a lot of funding for public safety. And in the last 3 or 4 years, that has really blown up in Virginia. And of the 100 law enforcement agencies we identified in our area, 81 of them were using some form of LPR, license plate reader technology.
So you were able to figure out how many times you were captured? Is that it?
Well, part of it was to test how well law enforcement agencies responded to this kind of request. So, going through essentially 15 different territories of different police departments and county sheriff's offices over the course of this 315-mile drive, then I had to figure out, well, how do I best word this Freedom of Information Act request? Mm-hmm. And I did a test with my hometown in Stanton, it took a couple of different emails saying, here's what I'd like. I'd like all of the license plate reading images taken by your flock tech cameras over the last 30 days, including any photographs of my car and the time and location, of those photos, and also the flock safety vehicle fingerprint, which is supposed to not only identify your car by the license plate number, but also by make and model, mm-hmm. and any unique things like a roof rack, a bike rack, a dent or a ding, bumper stickers, etc. And then once I figured out, the best kind of request letter to send and got the approval from the Stanton police that they were going to send that data, then I wrote to the other 14 law enforcement agencies over the next week and asked them exactly to send me the exact same stuff.
How many times do you think that your vehicle was captured by these cameras?
So I received 6 images. Nope, I received more than that. I received 4 images from the city of Stanton, and the city of Stanton has access to other cities that it shares its footage with. And so from them, I also received footage from Lynchburg, Virginia, and also from Roanoke, Virginia, and then from Martinsville, Virginia.
So
7.
Yeah, so I mean, so it's it's something that, I don't know if a lot of people have even thought about, Andrew.
No.
And thank you, Jeff, for telling us your story, that as you're driving around, there are so many cameras. Like, we've talked about it. You said you're on a camera from the time you leave KEZ to the time that you get here.
Oh, yeah. We talked about it on the current podcast, where I believe that I am on camera 100% of the time when I go from office to office. Street cams, highway cams, businesses that have cameras. I mean, when I drive into your parking lot, guess what? I smile because I know I'm on camera.
Yeah, you should smile.
I do.
And be thankful that you're here.
But we're on camera all the time.
No, we are. Just as I was driving to work this morning, I saw in Paradise Valley, they put up a new cactus cam. I smiled.
Is that one going to come after you for speeding?
I'm sure it will. Hey, better hires start with smarter insights. LinkedIn has the strongest hiring data and insights to help you identify the right candidates. Find your next great hire on LinkedIn and post your job for free at linkedin.com/Kim. Terms and conditions apply. Have you ever done this with your kids, use their voice on Waze?
No.
Oh, gosh, this would be so fun for you to do.
Okay, tell me.
Is that Waze has different voices, of course. Okay. And you can pick like anything from Christina Aguilera. You can have a dog or a cat voice to tell you to go left or right, which I never understood. I mean,
A dog?
yes, or a cat. Like, yes, exactly. Turn left. So what you can do is you can make your own voice directions in Waze. And you record various GPS instructions like start driving in a half a mile. You've arrived, turn left, turn right, smile, whatever it may be. And then so you could do that with your kids. And so then you fire up Waze and then you can pick one of the kids' voices.
I get that, but then they own my kid's voice, and 30 days from now, my daughter's voicing over in commercials for, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Google says they're not going to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. I'll do it this afternoon.
Don't worry about that. Sam in Austin, Texas. Hi, Sam.
Yes, hello.
So tell us what's happening in your world, Sam.
Oh, in my world. Well, this was an embarrassing situation that I unfortunately got involved in. It's history now, which is a good thing. But I had read your, the overview of a so-called romance scam. And of course, it started with interacting with I guess I was a young lady. I believe it was back on, Facebook, where you get introductions and you can elect to discuss whatever. But ended up texting back and forth, and over a period of 1 to 2 months, exchanging pleasantries. She told me she was helping a family member do some spot gold investing through a company called Hot Forex. Was I familiar with it? And no. But I got to watch a little bit of the so-called investing on that, and ended up sending about $6,200. Not a ungodly sum of money, but anyway.
It's a lot of money.
So, I'm sorry?
That is a lot of money. Don't discount that.
$6,200. But how much total did you give her?
Total, probably about, let's see, 62, 10, and then 50.
Okay. All right. So
As in 50,000, correct.
Oh.
She was asking for more and more along the way. She wanted 200 to 300,000, and so on and so forth. I never admitted that I had that availability, but again, we're doing investing. I could see it grow through that Hot Forex platform, so on and so forth. But finally, it just got to be, I was ahead probably about 30 grand, and
you were never ahead, by the way.
No.
No.
It's all a simulation. That's what it is.
No, absolutely. Anyway, and she was insisting I send more money. I could get this to $500,000 if we did thus and thus. But anyway, so I put in I don't know if I mentioned, I did a token withdrawal through Hot Forex, which worked. I got that, about $300 back just to see if it worked. But anyway, I put in, just nervous about the whole thing. I wasn't that greedy, so I was happy with my so-called gains at the moment. And I put in a withdrawal for roughly 120 grand. And then the company, Hot Forex, said, "Oh, you need, we think there's something funny going on here. We need to validate all this, and it's going to cost you, about another $34,000 to validate this." And of course, this gal that I was conversing with, I said, "Oh yeah, that's common. I had to do that." Blah blah. So, unfortunately, I sent that money, so I had another 34 grand into it. And the validation came back. Oh, it was all good. Of course, they said it was all fully refundable. And then the next step was I had to pay tax on it. And I said, "Well, I'll leave that up to my accountant." And they said, No, you need to pay tax, and that's going to cost you another 35 grand. And I said, No, it wasn't that much. But anyway, that's basically when I pulled the plug. I said, no more bad money or good money after bad. And I was, texting with this person, And I just jokingly said, well, if you loan me that money, because I told her I didn't have that 34 grand to send after the tax. And she says, 2 days later, she texted me back and says, yeah, I can loan you that, but I need to do you to do this and that. So that was just some crazy things that I refused to do. And of course, then.
What was it?
Yeah, what did they want you to do?
Wait. What were the crazy things? What did she want you to do?
You really want to know, eh?
Yeah.
Well, she said, you need to send me a picture. I want you to, it's like, you stand on your head kind of thing. You put some shoes on your ears, and she sent me a picture of some other poor sucker that apparently had done that. And
so were the photos going to be sexual in nature, or they would be degrading to you?
Degrading to me.
Okay.
Oh. And I just refused anything further, and we had some unpleasantries back and forth at that point, and I told her that her mother, I'm sure, is very proud of her. But anyway.
So, at any point when you first started speaking to this person, and I think you said it was started on Facebook, did they ask you to switch communication to a different app?
Well, we did, because we switched it to texting on phone, just normal texting.
Normal texting, okay.
Oh, normal. So you didn't use WhatsApp or any Signal or Telegram, nothing?
Actually, I think it was one of those. It's been, I just kind of tried to avoid my mind of that.
I get it.
Yeah, sure. I think it was WhatsApp. Yeah.
I get it. So you lost. Sounds like you lost what, 125 grand?
Well, no, that was after my so-called gains. I lost a total of about 80. Okay. Roughly 80,000. It could have been much more.
Okay.
But I pulled the plug there, and anyway.
So,
did you do anything? Did you report it? Did you call the cops? Did you take any action, or are you just saying this is lost? Move on.
Done.
Well, just the latter, I guess. I mean, I had not discussed it with anybody. Finally, I did discuss it with my financial planner, because I had the 50 grand came out of my IRA that I had to pay tax on, put me in another tax bracket and all that fun stuff. But anyway, and
well, here's what you want to do. You want to go to the Internet Crime Complaint Center, ic3.gov. Okay. That's where you can file a detailed complaint, give them screenshots, anything. And this is the FBI, and they're going to try to figure out if there's some type of trend. And they actually did pursue, and they actually brought down a syndicate about, I don't know, maybe a week and a half ago. So, I mean, it does work. And they found some congruencies between victims, I believe, in like Virginia and Illinois, and they were able to contact those people. And they're not going to get all their money back, but they may get a portion of it back. There's also AARP.org. They have something called the Fraud Watch Network. That's another place. And also your state attorney general. And a lot of people disregard that. But it's, you want to make your voice known as much as possible. And again, that's the Internet Crime Complaint Center. There's also the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, but I don't know if they're really into this, because it's not really commodities, because it's all fake.
Right.
It's all phony baloney. But it goes back to what we've been saying, Andrew, time and time again. Get off Facebook.
Yes.
Okay? If somebody wants you to go to another app, stop.
That is such a big warning sign. Let me ask you a quick question. And you don't have to have a number, but how many people, if you had to guess, how many people do you think around the world are working at these scams on a daily basis? Are we talking hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands?
It's really hard to say.
Okay.
Because I read a story about Myanmar and on the border of Thailand, and that they were looking at Google Maps photos from 10 years ago, and it was basically just swampland. Nothing. Nothing was there. And now on that border, are like cities. And so what is sustaining that population? Scams.
Well, it's billions of dollars.
Yes, scams. And so where people are living in dormitories and they're slaves. Okay. And that this is and they have to do these scams and they have to perform or else they get beat up. And some of these people are brought into this as thinking like they have a new job. And so they're going here to interview for a job. Well, and they think that the job is for a new resort. No, not exactly. And then they have to pay to get themselves out. So maybe if they do so many scams, they do have a chance to get out. So this is not just some kid in a basement.
No.
This is, like you said, organized crime.
Well, yeah, you use the right word, syndicate. That's what this is.
It is. Oh, man, I feel so bad for
Every time we hear these stories.
Hey, remember the internet's good old days? It was when it was actually free. Unfortunately, now we go online knowing that we're being tracked. And our internet providers can see our entire browsing history. And here in the U.S., they're legally allowed to sell it. And that's why I use ExpressVPN. It's a virtual private network that reroutes 100% of my online activity through secure encrypted servers, shielding it from prying eyes of my ISP and other third parties. It hides my IP address, and that's the number that identifies me online. So I can't be tracked. My online history is actually mine again, and it's so easy to use that your entire family can figure it out with just one tap. ExpressVPN works on all your devices, up to 8 devices at once. So let's return to the good old days of online privacy and freedom. Get up to 4 extra months of ExpressVPN for free at expressvpn.com/Kim. All right, I know you're pumped to go on vacation, but posting your boarding pass online is a big problem. It's loaded with personal info. It's called a PNR, passenger name record. It includes your contact info, your frequent flyer number, payment method, seat, special requests, even who you're flying with. So what can hackers and scammers do with that PNR? They can cancel or change your flight without you knowing. They can steal your identity, break into your online account, use your miles. Not fun. Bottom line, do not post your boarding pass. Alrighty then, still to come, a great tip about how you can rent out your gear for cash and more of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. If you want to glow from the inside out and get your natural radiance back, check out Native Path Collagen. Some studies suggest collagen supplements may support bone health, tissue recovery, and overall skin and hair wellness. And right now, get 45% off, free shipping, and a free gift bundle at getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.
Let's see. Constance in Kalispell, Montana. Hi there, Constance.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. What's going on?
Well, thank you so much for taking my call. I've been a fan for a quarter of a century.
Oh.
I've been listening to you for about 25 years.
What took you so long to call? What happened?
Oh, I guess I'm shy.
Okay,
Well,
me too.
I just came up with an issue that I'm hoping you can help with. My husband, Brian, is 71, just finished writing his first book, a sci-fi set on the International Space Station and a trip to the moon. I offered to help design the cover for Kindle, and I went into AI, and it was brought to my attention, AI puts a watermark on all images it creates, maintaining ownership, and that there's a lot of gray area right now as to who has copyright control over AI-generated images. Is there any AI that can produce an image that I can sell and keep ownership to?
You know, that's a great question, but I have a question for you first. I don't want it to be a spoiler, but do the astronauts get off the space station?
Ooh, well, it's part 1 of 3 volumes. So let's just say there's romance and disaster.
Ooh. Romance and disaster. What do you think, Andrew?
Disaster means they die.
No.
No, but where else would disaster come into play?
That's in the third part. They can't die until they have, they do They make whoopee up in space.
Maybe that's the same thing happened. They died doing whoopee in space.
It was so good, they blew out all their oxygen. That's a really good question. It's a very great question. With, like, for example, ChatGPT, you can use the images for commercial purposes, but they do put this metadata attached to it, said it has been made with ChatGPT, and you have full usage rights for commercial use, but somebody else could use the same image if they wanted to.
Public use.
Right, exactly. So if you're looking for total ownership, that's where you have to use Adobe's Firefly.
Oh.
And that's full rights. You have to have an Adobe Creative Cloud account, and it's about, I don't know, I think that's $25 a month, $20 a month, something like that. And that's where you can use AI to create the art that you could put on the book cover. So what are we thinking about with the book cover?
Oh, he's been working on this for years. So it's going to be the mask of the astronaut, and you're going to see in the reflection something unusual.
Oh, I got an idea. How about
Wait for it. Here comes the Kim Komando commercial. Just be ready.
How about me?
Oh!
Yeah, would you be recognized in a uniform?
That would be it. There's also Dream Studio. So Firefly and Dream Studio, those are the two that you can use. I forgot about Dream Studio until we were just kind of chatting it up. But it brings up an interesting question, because I've thought about this myself. I mean, if you start looking at the images in the current, that's my free newsletter. Over 650,000 people get it every single morning, and they love it. 98% rating, just saying. So if you look at the images in the current, I've been doing them myself in ChatGPT.
Okay.
And if I must say so myself, I'm very clever.
Okay, but you just said that you don't own them.
No, but but anybody else can use it too.
And you don't mind?
I don't care.
All right.
I mean, like the one that's in today's, it's a picture of an old desk phone. And the story, well, I'll let you guess what the story, well, I'll tell you what the story. The story was about how to set up your phone in case you lose it so you can get it back.
Okay.
So instead of like putting a picture of a phone, is that I put an image of this old phone on a desk. And I said, something that somebody never said in the 1980s, I lost my phone.
Right. Just follow the cord, dummy.
That was it. All right, still to come, how you can rent out your gear for cash here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, cybercrime's on the rise. Hackers are getting smarter every day. You have to have a healthy dose of skepticism when opening emails or clicking links, but you need to fight back with solid antivirus protection. Only $19 your first year at protectwithkim.com. Once again, that's protectwithkim.com. Hey, listen, if you have some gear like drones and cameras and gaming consoles and you're thinking like, hey, I could make some money with them because I don't use them anymore, you can do that. Just check out Fat Llama. I don't know why they call it that. Fat Llama and Kit Split, 2 places for you. Hey, by the way, if you haven't already, make sure that you enter to win that brand new iPhone 16 Pro, a $999 value. Go to winfromkim.com.